This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. The GOAT has arrived in Newcastle. Claressa Shields, welcome. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. You're here. You've got the gold medals with you. When did you get in?
About hour and a half ago.
Straight in. Now, obvious reasons why you're here. You're here to promote a fight. Savannah Marshall's got one hurdle to clear first. Femke Herman, someone you know well. You won every round against her when you two fought. Expecting no slip-ups on Saturday night from Savannah?
I think Femke is a durable opponent, but I don't see her. I think she can be awkward and stuff against Marshall, but I don't think that she can beat Marshall. I think Marshall can. I mean, I was able to hit Femke a lot, hit her a lot. I think that Marshall should be able to hit her too, and sometimes Femke keep her chin in the air, so maybe she'll get caught with a punch. But I'm just looking forward to Savannah Marshall winning, so me and her can fight next, so we can put all her talking shit to rest, because she's not a better fighter than me. She don't have more belts than me, don't have Olympic gold medals like me, and she's been living off my name for the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm ready to put that to the rest.
With Savannah this week, she's kind of played down the fact that you're here, and she says she's not feeling the pressure, she's not thinking about that fight just yet, but do you think it is impossible for her to keep it out of the back of her mind going into a fight like this?
Please. She's been, oh my God, Savannah Marshall dreams about me. She wants to be me or something. Like, she's such a narcissist. Something wrong with her, I think. She definitely has been thinking about me. She keeps saying my name in every interview. Like, when I was getting ready for my fight over here in Cardiff, I was talking about Emma. They would mention Savannah Marshall, and I would respond to certain things, but it's like, all she wants to talk about is me. She said something about that I've always been in the background, looming around at her fights. I've never been to no Savannah Marshall fight. I've never been to no Savannah Marshall goddamn sparring. But she says, oh, I've been looming in the background. I've never even watched... I watched maybe one full fight of hers, and that was like, what, last year, maybe her last fight or something like that, when it went 2 rounds. But I don't pay her any mind. Like, I'm in my own world, and I have bigger and better things to do than worry about Savannah Marshall. It's like she just always speaking my name. It's like, Claressa Shields, Claressa Shields, Claressa Shields. It's like, dude, get over it. Get over it. But since she want to fight so bad and I'm so scared of her, I'm here. And it's like she's mad that I'm here. You wanted to fight. I'm here. Let's go. That's it. Simple.
She's talked about over here as a big puncher. I've seen you sort of tweet about fake power in the last few hours. Can you just explain that?
How you talking about you got knockout power and you fight against girls at lower weight classes? Most of her opponents have had 3 days and weeks notice and 1 week's notice. Of course you're supposed to knock them out. If girls aren't even in a gym training, if they don't have a full camp, if they're at a lower weight class, duh, yeah, you're going to knock them out. She hasn't fought against a Christina Hammer. She hasn't fought against a Hannah Gabriels. She hasn't fought against some of the girls that I fought against who were tough opponents. A French on Cruz. I mean, and people need to just realize this. When you talk about how good you are and what kind of champion you can be, let's not forget Savannah Marshall was at 175, supposed to be fighting for a world title there. For some reason, that fight didn't happen. Then we have 168 contenders. French on Cruz, Alicia Napoleon, Ellen Sederus. She skipped that whole weight class and then come down to 160, and now the greatest is scared of her? The most accomplished woman in boxing is scared of you now? Champions don't do that. We win at whatever weight class that we're at, and then we go to another weight class and do it, and another weight class and do it. That's why I'm undisputed in 2 different weight classes and was champion at 168. She cannot do what I do. She can't.
We've seen hurdles in the way of big fights before, but you've shown a willingness to come here and travel to the UK if that's where the fight has to be. What is it about you that makes you happy to just come here, come to her backyard and get the fight on here?
I can win anywhere. I won this Olympic gold medal here. And she was in the Olympics 2012. I went to Brazil, won this Olympic gold medal. I actually got world championship gold medals too. But it doesn't matter where the fight happens. I'm going to beat her. We can fight in Savannah Marshall's bedroom. I'm going to win. That's it. It doesn't matter where we fight at. And I want to show her, like, she keeps saying I'm scared of her and I retired from boxing and do MMA because of her. She thinks my whole life revolves around her, and it doesn't. The GOAT do what she want to do. I wanted to do MMA. Just like I want to continue boxing and defend my titles. But I'm just ready for me and her to fight so I can just put all this to the rest. She is not nowhere near skilled as me. And people talking about punching power, I don't think that boxing fans really know what punching power is, especially if she's fighting against weak opponents like that.
That's one I wanted to ask you about. I see you tweeting about the advice that Andre Ward's given you throughout your career. Could you just give us a little insight into the kind of things he's told you along the way?
You know, when I first turned pro, it wasn't okay for women to talk trash. It wasn't okay. And everybody was kind of like, oh, I'm putting on a, they thought or felt I was putting on a persona. And when Andre Ward called me, he was like, hey, you know, you don't have to put on a persona, you don't have to put on the front, whatever. And I'm like, Andre, I'm not putting on the front, like, that's who I am. And he's like, oh, well, in that case, keep doing it. I didn't think that was the best advice. Instead of him telling me like, well, it's not really accepted, it's not okay, he was like, oh, wow, I thought maybe somebody was trying to tell you to do that. And I was like, no, that's just how I am and who I am. And he was like, oh, well, keep it up. Because people always tried to make him be like that, but he was kind of like, you know, quiet, like to handle his business. And I'm like, I'm going to handle my business and I'm going to work hard, but I'm always going to let the girls know what's going to happen before it happens, because that's what Muhammad Ali did, and I feel like I'm the female Ali. So that's kind of, but that was some of the great advice that he gave me. He was like, okay, well, just be you then, you know. And I'm like, I'm not going to overdo it, like smack a girl at weigh-ins or nothing, but I do enjoy like the trash talk of boxing. I love when other people do it. I love when it builds up fights. It's just great for boxing, I think.
Well, Claressa, thank you very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Enjoy yourself this week.
No problem.